Good evening and welcome to Nonsense Talk Live. I'm Palak Ghosh with you. Well, as you all know that the Joshimath in Uttarakhand is facing severe crisis. Large cracks have appeared on almost every wall of 678 buildings, including business establishments. As you all know, the demolition has been ordered, and today on Tuesday, demolition was supposed to take place, but due to some reason or the other, it got delayed. Well, demolition in itself sounds actually scary because over 678 residents and business establishments are going to be razed to the ground. In other words, entire Joshimath is going to collapse. Joshimath was the actually doorway to Kedarnath Badrinath. In fact, when in winters, when the cave shrine of Kedarnath Badrinath closes, the idols are brought to Joshimath. In fact, they are right now in Joshimath. But that temple has also developed crack. God knows what will happen to that temple if demolition takes place. However, right at the moment, the two big hotels, the Malari and the Mount View, will be demolished first. As you all know, both the hotels are leaning against each other. It's very scary. But coming to those issues later, my first reaction when I heard this was actually simply prayers, because I really don't know how to put it. And it's scary, it's alarming, it's heart-wrenching, because innocent people, they are going to lose their abode, their houses, their establishments, and entire Joshimath will be razed to ground. Well, administration has given its assurance that Joshimath will be reinforced, but right at the moment it's very clear that entire Joshimath, the area, will be razed to ground, land mapping will be taking place, and according to that, compensations will be given. However, locals today said that give us the money and we will find our place, which is again very interesting. Perhaps either they don't have faith in the administration or they want to move away from Joshimath. Secondly, as I was saying, one of the big reasons is, of course, I call this a man-made crisis, because too much of development on the hills, too much of development in the Himalayan region of late is getting scary. In fact, if you take a look at these places on the Himalayan foothills, you will see too much of business establishments like hotels, motels, guest houses are coming up. And because of this, it's very clear that the ecology or the equilibrium of the nature is totally being disturbed. And as a result, these things are taking place. Of course, in Joshimath, the NTPC Hydel project is largely responsible because dredging took place under the mountains for this Hydel project, and locals have also blamed the Hydel project. So it's very clear that it's a man-made crisis. Unfortunately, development, I really don't know, but I want to ask that is development above humanity, above the human existence? I really don't know. However, coming to this crisis, as we all know, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a high-level meeting on Sunday, and he along with the PM also had a meeting, and Prime Minister had a word with Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami over telephone, and Prime Minister gave a clear order to the administration that ensure that you stay with the locals. It means a lot, because when an order comes from the Prime Minister's office that first you have to look after the locals, that means something. And as we all know, in this country, in our country, bureaucracy speaks above everything. Unfortunately, because as I said, development is above everything, and that is the reason Joshimath is taking place. So I keep my fingers crossed, and before ending, just I want to give you one update that tomorrow is going to be more crucial because weather office has already issued an alert that from tomorrow there will be heavy to heavy snowfall in Joshimath region, which means life is going to be hell. And then from 11th to 14th, there will be heavy rainfall in the area. It clearly shows that, well, according to weather, it's very natural because Joshimath is on the foothills of Himalaya. It's in Uttarakhand. This is the right time to have such weather. But when you have such a crisis, it's definitely a curse for the people because they are either they will have to relocate. Already 87 families have been relocated, but really don't know how this crisis will end. If tomorrow Joshimath is razed to ground, then I really don't know what will happen to others because everybody is scared. Finally, the business establishments, those particularly the shops, I'm not talking about the hotels because largely too much of development, too much of tourism, too much of adventure tourism in the foothills of Himalayas is responsible. Call me cynical, call me superstitious or mythological buff. No, I'm not. In India, we believe that mythology is also important. Himalaya is actually regarded as one of the sacred places. Yes, trekking took place, river rafting took place, but that's a different story. Not everywhere. But Himalayas is regarded as a sacred place. And in Hindu mythology, Himalaya has a special place. So many believe that when you start corrupting Himalaya, because today it's no more tourism, it's actually a picnic. People are going with liquors, people are going with other things, they are having sex over there, they are having rave parties. This has actually don't take me as a superstitious or mythological fool, I repeat, but it's true because some places have a sacred place in the history or in the art or I beg your pardon, in the heritage. Like for example, for Muslims, you cannot corrupt Mecca because that is their holy place. For Christians, you cannot corrupt Poland or the Pope's Vatican actually because that is their holy place. So like that, you cannot do everything and get away with everything. And that is where nature actually rebounds. Well, you may not like it, but this is true. Nature is actually rebounding. Nature is saying that, look, be careful. Or this is just a filler. When I shall come on ruining everything, I will ruin everything. We have seen this in Kedarnath actually. But still people didn't wake up, unfortunately. Today, Uttarakhand, parts of Uttarakhand, even parts of other places in Uttarakhand like Mussoorie and all that, they have actually gone to docks. Too much of hotels, too much of commercial establishments have come up. Particularly hotels, motels, guest houses. And they are all coming up at the foothills of the mountains. They are cutting steps and then they are making these hotels. God knows what is in store for in future. But right now, definitely, I keep my finger crossed and it's all prayers because I really don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. And my heart goes out for these people who will lose their abode, their houses, their establishments. I really don't have any words. I leave you with this thought for today and request you all to pray to Almighty God or whoever you believe to save Joshimath, to save these people's houses and establishments.